Hello and welcome to Sabrang Online TV. Today we're going to be interviewing the man they call the Human Encyclopedia. He comes from Ontario, Canada. He has a long history with government and politics around the world. Very impressive resume. Joining me today is Dr. Lamba. Hello, Dr. Lamba, and welcome, and thank you for joining us on Sabrang Online TV. It's a pleasure to have you. Warm welcome.
Thank you very much, Michael. It's my pleasure to be here, and I appreciate your interest in having me on your TV show.
So, just for the purpose of any of our viewers who may not know or may not have heard of you before, can you just give us a little background just about your past experiences and what you've accomplished?
Well, you see, giving my past experience in a couple of minutes is going to be tough. But okay, I'll say that much, that I've been a political and business strategist. My first diplomatic assignment was at the age of 15. Must have been shocked. To Egypt to report on Aswan Dam being built.
Right.
And the temples being changed from Nile, the symbol temple. So that was my first assignment. And then, I've been involved in advising the governments all over the world at different times.
Yep.
Then I had my own consultancy. I have been on the expert groups of the United Nations. And CNN once said that I'm one in a million. That's what they said. I've interacted with more than a dozen heads of the governments and the states, presidents, prime minister. Even Mr. Kissinger was on a personal first-name basis with me.
Right.
And now apart from that, I'm a speaker and a writer. I've published 7 books.
Yep.
And I have written more than 3,000 articles. Even now I write 2 articles a day on an average.
Yep.
Then I have 2, some on TV very often, I'm on radio. So life goes on.
Yeah. They're very, very impressive. Like I said, I was reading your website before, and that was one of the reasons I guess we wanted you to come on, because we wanted to speak to you and have you on our program.
I appreciate it. As a matter of fact, the government honored me with a Queen Elizabeth Diamond Jubilee Medal.
Yep.
I got the YMCA award for being the Peacemaker of the Year.
Yeah.
So these extraordinary honors have been given to me all over the world.
Yeah, and so they should, with the hard work and dedication you've put in over the years.
Well, I would say that I have always believed in being honest to myself, and honest to whatever I do.
Yeah.
And that's why possibly I could do something better than most of the people. That's it.
Yeah. Now, given your long list of achievements within the business world and the political world, what would you say has been your most challenging, your most rewarding, and why?
You see, if I again have a look at the back for the more than 52 years in the public life, there have been hundreds of things which I would call exceptional.
Yeah.
But the most challenging one was not in the political field. It was not in the economic. It was in business. The government of Uzbekistan invited us to set up a hospital.
Okay.
In Surkhandaria region. Surkhandaria is the border of Afghanistan, Turkestan, Iran, Uzbekistan.
Yeah.
Very crucial area. Average temperature there is minus 40 degrees. Average kilometers an hour. Now they are the mountains of salt. And they wanted to set a hospital there because salt air is good for the respiratory diseases.
Yeah.
And only one country in the world has that technology. That's Israel. And Israel would give technology to a Muslim country. It's as simple as that. They will not give it for love. They will not give it for money.
That's right.
So I had to fly to Tel Aviv. I talked to Mr. Moshe personally. And we got the technology. Can you believe? No, Uzbekistan didn't have any fund. So he went to Kuwait and got money for the Kuwait So imagine technology from which is an enemy of Islam, money from Kuwait,
Yeah.
and the technology was through our organization, through my efforts. So this was one of the most challenging ones because internationally we brought it, which could never have happened.
Right.
And Moshan told me that had it not been for me, they would never have given it,
Yeah.
given the technology. So that would, I'll say, one of the most challenging aspects. And there have been interactions with Kissinger when they wanted to invade India.
Mm.
They sent Seventh Fleet
Yeah.
to Bay of Bengal to bombard India, so I had to intervene,
Okay.
talk to Kissinger, discuss the matters with Kissinger. And after I had also a meeting with President Nixon.
Yeah.
And then the Armada, the nuclear Armada, sailed back.
Uh-huh.
So this is another major achievement. And that's why these Bangladeshi people, they love me.
Yeah.
Because I was instrumental in helping them get their independence.
Yeah.
So, but then as I said, in a long span of 52 years, covering more than half a century, you have so many things we can't even imagine or cannot even keep track of.
Oh,
But these such
yeah.
things.
Yeah. No, that's great. So can only imagine, very, very strong negotiation skills were needed during those times.
Hmm. You see, what happens is, as I said earlier, Michael, once you are committed to doing it, and you have the passion for doing it, and you are not bothered about the results, what might happen, except the goal that you have to achieve that goal,
Yeah.
then success is yours.
That's right.
But when the personal likes and dislikes, when personal greed comes into picture, when your personal proclivities obstruct your vision, then you can't do it.
Mm.
So whenever I did a job, I took it on war footing. I would take it as a war that I have got to win.
Yeah.
It's a question of do or die.
Yeah.
And naturally, with all my when I wanted to immigrate to Canada, I had no desire to immigrate, but my grandsons were here and I wanted to come here, okay.
Okay.
We applied, we got the invitation. Then what I did was, people mostly don't do that. I sold everything, all my property, all my business, everything,
Yeah.
so that there's nothing to attract me back.
Yeah.
Now people tell me, well, you sold for the thing, your one house for 30 lakhs. Now it's worth about 2 crores. I said, so what?
Yeah.
At least I didn't have a temptation to go back.
Yeah.
So I've always burnt my boats so that I can fight, go forward, and do my job without any impediment, without any obstruction, without any obstacle.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to be. I know myself, being here in Australia, I actually moved to Canada and then Canada back to Australia, and I had a similar mentality. Although it's a bit of a different situation, but I did think of those ways that I need to sort of cut down as much as I can, so I just focus on one path, one journey. And,
That's the way it has to be.
Yeah. So, given your schedule with TV, radio, articles, I'm sure you keep pretty social with a lot of your network as well. What do you do in your downtime to relax and unwind from everything?
Well, when I read, that's a relaxation. When I get up in the morning, I spend first 2 hours reading.
Okay.
And then when I'm reading, some idea comes, I start writing it as well. So it's always a mixture of things. I have no such interest of going to the parties. I do go to the parties where I'm invited to be a chief guest. I can't say no to the people. Or I'm a speaker over there.
Yeah.
Or as I'm the chair of the United Way, the board meetings.
Mm-hmm.
There are about 6 boards on which I'm a board of director, member of the board of directors, so I have to attend them. But I always find time to read.
Yeah.
And I read everything.
Yeah.
My interests are very, very Catholic, very wide. I'll read from physics, chemistry, biology, literature, history, culture, anything.
Yeah.
I'll read except mathematics. Mathematics is my weakest point.
Right.
But apart from that, anything. And that's why people call me human encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Okay. Now with that sort of a thing, when I'm reading something, it gives me such a great relaxation that I don't need anything else.
Yeah.
So when I'm absolutely exhausted, I read.
Yeah.
And when I'm not exhausted, I read.
Yeah.
And then I read. So my own time is spent only in... Somebody asked me that how is it that I read all subjects? Now here I like to say that I am in the like Aristotle, Archanical. They were not specialists in one field.
That's right.
They were experts in every field. Even Leonardo da Vinci,
Yeah.
he was a painter and he was an architect. He was the first man to design a helicopter.
Yeah.
So if your interests are wide, then your base is very wide.
That's right.
And then you can correlate the things. And that is my strength. That I can correlate history with culture, with religion, with life. And life is not something, which is in blocks, in different disciplines.
Yeah.
It's a mixture of everything.
Yeah.
So that's what helps me.
Right. So we are running on a schedule. So is there anything else that you'd like to tell our viewers about yourself, about any services or anything you provide, or how if someone wants to get you to speak or whatever? Do you want to share anything along those lines?
I help the youngsters imbibe the quality of leadership. There was a guy who was very good, but at the moment he would stand up, he couldn't say a word. So I mentored him for 4 days, and now he's an excellent public relations person.
Right.
So I guide people without any interest. I guide people to become a better human beings. And I always say to the people, be honest to yourself. When you get up in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror. And if you can smile and look at yourself, and you don't feel shy of looking at yourself, then you are great. Then you are doing something.
Yeah.
So this is what I will tell the people. Be honest to yourself. And you don't need to be anything else.
Yeah. No, that's great. All right, Dr. Lamba, it's been a pleasure having you on our show. Thank you very much for your time. And we do look forward to catching up with you again in the future.
Thank you. I shall appreciate it. All the best. Thank
you very much.